me! Yeah!
There's a reason Total Drama is so beloved today, even 15 years after its original release. It's how lovable the characters are. Be they funny, relatable, or simply way too much fun to hate, there's something for everyone. But we've all got our favorites, and we've all got characters we're rooting for to win. Which begs the question, what does that say about you? We gathered a team of experts in psychology to find out, but they got distracted by how gorgeous Justin is, so I guess it's just up to me. Sorry. I'm Keith Inosi with Wicked Binge, and this is what your favorite Total Drama Island character says about you. To be clear, this is just for the cast of the original Total Drama Island series, including contestants debuting in World Tour, and, of course, Chris and Chef. We'll be going in alphabetical order to keep things organized. And remember, it's all in good fun, so don't take things too seriously. Unless we're spot on, of course, then definitely let us know. Alejandro. If Alejandro is your favorite, our running theory is that you either want Alejandro or you want to be Alejandro. If the former describes you, congrats, you've been charmed by the most manipulative contestant in the entire series.
My mother raised a gentleman.
This might say something about how malleable you are. Just because someone seems nice doesn't mean they are, so you might want to check your relationships. On the other hand, you might find yourself admiring Alejandro's tactics of manipulation. He manages to make others bend to his will and get them out of his way. But it's also shown that he's secretly insecure about his older brother overshadowing him. Either way, our diagnosis for Alejandro fans is a mix of manipulation and inferiority complex, plus an admiration for villains. And unlike Tyler, you definitely don't like girls. Beth. Beth. Sweet as the day is long, always making sure to be herself no matter what the world says. I remember rooting for her as a kid. That level of confidence in who she is pretty darn admirable. Unlike Lindsay, Beth is relatively quick to see through Heather's manipulation and stick up for herself. And although she's extremely clumsy, she's also genuinely friendly with everyone. Beth fans, you're total free spirits in every sense of the words. Nobody can stop you from being who you are, and you'd totally wear one of those don't let anyone dull your sparkle shirts. But while free-spiritedness is great for things like creativity and making friends, it can also lead to less savory activities like cheating on your boyfriend on national TV, or even worse, having a side ponytail. Lashana did have a point there. Blaine. Okay, look, I'm sure there's at least someone watching this video, and I mean like one person, who happens to like Blaine. But I, for one, would be genuinely surprised if anyone actually considered Blaine their favorite character.
Whatevers.
If your favorite character is Blaine, I can only assume that you, like Blaine, are a 40-year-old trying to fit in with teenagers. This can be interpreted as being the wine aunt of your friend group, or it can be more of a peaked in high school thing, but seriously, there's no way she's actually anyone's favorite, right? Bridget. Being by far one of the most morally decent, well-rounded characters in the series, Bridget is well-liked in general. While she's not a character anyone really has a reason to dislike, she's also not the kind of character that most would consider a favorite. But if out of all the characters in the series, Bridget stands out most to you in a positive way, my best guess is that you are a total sweetheart. Bridget is one of the very few characters who never really had any malicious intent towards anyone, though she was far from perfect.
I kinda have a boyfriend.
So if you find her to be your favorite, it's likely that general kindness stands out more than anything else to you. The environment needs people like you. Seriously, it's way too hot lately. If you could do a protest or something, that'd be great. Or just, I don't know, throw some ice cubes. What helps? Chef, the effective co-host of the series, Chef Hatchet fits the bill of the stubborn, stoic teacher with a heart of gold. Only, it's not really a heart of gold, it's more like a heart of stone that occasionally drops a piece of glitter or something, I don't know. If you're a Chef fan, you've got two preferences, comic relief and physique. From his epic fights with Izzy to his utterly horrifying meals, Chef always has something to entertain or terrify us with, which goes double for the contestants. You yourself probably fall into one of those two categories, either really funny or really buff. Or maybe both, who are we to judge? That's actually a good mix. Chris McLean. All right, campers, it's finally time to talk about the host with the most, Chris McLean. He's very much a love-or-hate character, but for today we focus on the former. As someone who absolutely loves Chris, there's one overarching reason. The man is so fun.
I love this show.
He's one of the few characters who manages to cross the line into being pure, chaotic evil to the extent where he somehow becomes likable again. It's weird, but he's like a Mr. Burns, Peter Griffin, or Mr. Krabs-esque character, which means we can only conclude that Chris McLean fans are absolute gods in humor and meme culture in general. Whether you've got a weirdly good impression of the guy or just love a character who can do literally anything and have it feel in character, a good laugh takes precedent above all else for you, and if you can make someone else laugh, that's enough to make make your whole day. That said, you should probably never be placed in charge of a reality show. Cody. Remember how I mentioned earlier that many characters in this series are relatable? Well, Cody's definitely one such character, at least for the show's largely teenage audience. Come on, at least half of the people who grew up with this show had a crush on Gwen.
What you got there, a journal?
I'm not projecting, I'm just saying. Now, at the risk of sounding cliche, Cody fans are either simps or former simps. I know, the word is dead, but if Cody's your favorite, we're willing to bet either you're in your desperate for a goth GF phase right now, or you've been in one in the past. Either way, you get it. If nothing else, you're probably the more friendly type of simp, the kind who will still support your buddies in relationships no matter how jealous you might feel. Again, I'm not projecting this, not me. Courtney. Girl boss, what a term. What a title that's popped up in recent years, and what a huge amount of them in the Total Drama series. Even better, there's one for every kind of girl boss enthusiast.
We need this point, DJ! Suck it up!
For example, Courtney. If Courtney's your favorite, you've got respect for girl bosses. Morals be darned! Courtney is the type who will do absolutely anything to reach her goals, for better or worse. It doesn't matter if that means sabotage, threats of violence, actual violence, total backstabbing, there's absolutely nothing off limits for her. You may or may not respect Courtney's methods, but you admire her intense determination to get what she wants, which likely speaks to your own determination, and maybe even savagery. DJ! Okay, let's be real. Everyone loves DJ. He's a total sweetheart, arguably the nicest dude in the entire show. From his love for animals, to his general kindness and honesty, to his devotion to his mama. DJ checks every box needed for a gentle giant, so we can only conclude that if DJ's your favorite, you're a total softie and you don't try to hide it. You may have a big stature, big ambitions, big personality, etc., but that doesn't stop you from loving everyone around you and being the best person you can be, even if it means making sacrifices here and there. You also probably cried a lot in World Tour. That poor baby seal. That poor panda. Can we move on now? I want to move on now. Duncan. For every softie that doesn't try to hide it, there's one that absolutely does. Enter our friend Duncan, the bad boy with a heart of gold. Or maybe bronze. Silver on a good day. Duncan has his bad qualities. He's pretty darn rude, threatens people a lot, and tends to bully the weaker, nerdier contestants like Harold and Cody. But like many characters, Duncan went through derailment, and interestingly, we find that those two sides of his character can be reflected in his fans. Duncan fans, you try to hide your good nature in one of two ways. On one end, we got seasons 1 and 2 Duncan. He's not the nicest guy around, but he, like you, perhaps has genuine kindness beneath the surface level. From getting DJ a pet bunny to replace the one that was eaten off screen, to even trying to befriend Harold at one point. On the other hand, there are the Duncan fans who try too hard to assert that they're tough guys, much like Duncan in the later seasons of the series, who lost sight of what made the original cool. On either end of the spectrum, I encourage you to be more proud of who you are. Unless that means burning down someone's cottage, then maybe be proud of seeking therapy. Eva. Eva's one of those characters who falls into the category of having very few fans. She appears very little, and whenever she does, she's funny at best and absolutely terrifying at worst. Heck, didn't they have to put her in a straitjacket during her elimination?
I guess my temper got the better of me.
If you like Eva, it's best to assume you know what it's like to have anger issues. After all, Eva doesn't seem proud of losing her temper. She sometimes even tries to be friendly with others. And maybe you're better at seeing that than most people. Whether you're Eva or just a fan, just know that we believe in you. Ezekiel. Okay, this is the easiest one yet. If Ezekiel's your favorite, you feel really bad for the guy, plain and simple. Whether you pity his complete social ineptitude in the very first challenge, or you feel bad for his constant habit of being the first one eliminated, or most egregiously, you feel absolutely horrible about what happened to him in Total Drama World Tour, you're a very empathetic person if you like Ezekiel. Because, let's be honest, there's not that much else memorable about him aside from how absolutely terrible his time on the show was. Poor guy. Jeff. Now we get to the party animal of the hour himself. Jeff. One of the nicest members of the OG cast, Jeff is always down to have fun and befriend everyone around him. He's devoted to his girlfriend Bridget, his best buddy Brody, and isn't ashamed to show either of these things. If Jeff is your favorite, you're a bro in every sense of the word.
You know, together as a team.
No amount of love and affection for your loved ones is too much for you, and you're never one to hold back your feelings, for better or worse. You're willing to put others' needs before your own, and you put a good time above all else. You also like to pretend the aftermath of season 2 didn't exist. That was a dark time for you guys. Gwen. First and foremost, if Gwen is your favorite, you're probably over half the people watching this video. She's basically the main character of season 1 after all, and for those who grew up watching this show, she awakened an innate passion for alternative women. If Gwen is your favorite, you're either an alt girl, want to be an alt girl, or you want an alt girl. And much like Gwen fans, that probably makes up at least 90% of the population. You also probably hate Trent or Duncan for stealing her from you. Cody's fine though, like that's ever gonna happen. No offense, Cody. Harold. Finally, we've gotten to my favorite contestant, says the scriptwriter, not me per se. Harold. The man is simply built different. With his mad skills, his unrivaled riz, his sheer aura of pure animal magnetism, there's no doubt about it. Harold may be a complete nerd, but he's simultaneously an absolute Chad. By being both these things, he breaks the laws of nature itself, and for that same reason, I can confirm that Harold fans are complete nerds, and simultaneously complete Chads. This makes us completely chaotic, in as much as at any given moment, we're either completely embarrassing ourselves or somehow becoming the life of the party.
Mad surfing skills, activate!
Either way, there's no doubt you've got some weirdly specific talent or skill that's gonna get you to be the center of attention at some point, for better or for worse. Heather. I know. We all hated Heather as kids, and I still do. Heather's the queen of mean. She walked so Alejandro could run. The difference is that whereas Alejandro is more underhanded, Heather wears her lack of a heart on her sleeve. You don't have to have a degree to figure out Heather is totally mean, and she never even tries to hide it, only being canon friends with Harold and sometimes Cody. The most logical conclusion is that Heather fans love a character they can hate. If Heather's your favorite, you're more than likely the type who's always rooting for the villains, whether that's because you actually want them to succeed, or playing devil's advocate, or you want to see how far they can fall is all up in the air. But with how iconic of a villain Heather is, I definitely understand either way. Izzy. Towing the line of the series is haha funny random XD character and one of its most terrifyingly brilliant contestants, Izzy's one of Total Drama Island's most interesting characters. Perhaps more than anyone else, she deserved more screen time to show off her brilliant mind and schemes.
I'm thinking of changing my name. Yeah, to Kaleidoscope.
You never know what Izzy's gonna do next, and that's a sure sign that Izzy fans, like Izzy herself, are absolute wildcards. Izzy is another one of my personal favorites. An unpredictable character has this particular intrigue to them. Whether she's calling herself Kaleidoscope to get a free ticket back to the show, or running from the Canadian police, Izzy is a character who always keeps you guessing, and you're almost always gonna guess wrong. Justin. Ignoring the obvious beauty of this absolute god among men, think of us Justin fans as more lighthearted versions of Alejandro fans. Yes, we love to see him flirt with others and use his looks to get ahead in the game, but we equally love the fact that he, unlike Alejandro, has absolutely no malicious intentions and seemingly no idea how to actually manipulate others. Justin fans are simply admiring the ideal male physique.
What are you all staring at?
You'll do whatever it takes to get beautiful to the point where people look at you like sharks look at Justin. But you've at least got some standards about it. With great beauty comes great responsibility. We all know this. Katie and Sadie. Being that Katie and Sadie are devoted best friends, and that being their whole personality, their constant ease can be a bit grating, but that's not to say there's no reason to like them. If you're a fan of these two by chance, it's likely you have a soft spot for sweet friendships.
I'm not jumping without Katie.
In a series where everyone else is worried about one-upping the others and getting into drama, it's refreshing to see a pair who are worried about what really matters. Doing their best, staying loyal to each other no matter what, and admiring Justin's beauty. These two know what's up. And love him or hate him, it's hard to deny their dynamic is adorable. Lashana. Easily my personal favorite female contestant, Lashana possesses all the qualities of a girl boss, like Courtney or Heather. The difference is that Lashana is goated. Lashana fans admire girl bossing the right way.
Girl, let me handle the appetizers.
Her performance in Island is peak. From her constantly bullying Heather for being so dang mean, to her being a good big sister figure to the rest of the island, to her being the only woman who's godlike enough to attract Harold. Us Lashana fans also know that she fully deserved to win season 1, and that her elimination was frankly an absolute crime against humanity. I, for one, will never forgive that parrot. Lindsay. Lovable lame brain Lindsay is up next on the chopping block. She takes the dumb blonde stereotype to the absolute extreme. As savvy as she is in terms of fashion, that does not translate over to anything else. The girl asked how to push a stroller.
Okay, how do you push again?
Say what you will about Lindsay's brain, her heart more than makes up for it. Lindsay fans are feelers, overthinkers all day, every day. I'm not calling you stupid, of course, but you place the heart over the head, for better or worse. Personally, I'd say it's good, considering that Lindsay is one of the most popular contestants among her peers, receiving one of the most heartfelt goodbyes in the first season. Never change, Lindsay fans. Unless you maybe want to take some stroller pushing lessons. Mr. Coconut. I'll be honest, I don't know how to analyze Mr. Coconut and his fans. Deep down, we all know he's the objective best character in Total Drama history. He single-handedly kept Owen from going totally off the deep end, and even after Chris's cruel exiling of him, he left with a smile on his face. All I can confidently say is that if Mr. Coconut is your favorite character, you're right. We should have fought harder for him, and that's our burden to carry. Noah. Noah is one of the most popular comic relief characters in Total Drama history, and one who didn't get anywhere near the amount of screen time he deserved, if you ask us. Noah is one of the straight man characters in the group, whereas everyone else is going absolutely wild having a great time, Noah genuinely just keeps to himself and is rather cynical. If he's the character who sticks out most to you, you're the ultimate introvert. You're the type who prefers Squidward to SpongeBob, night to day, books to balls. Okay, that was a weird choice of wording. Why did I say that? Owen. Let's move back to the Squidward to SpongeBob analogy for a moment. In World Tour and even Redonkulous Race, Owen and Noah are paired up, which to this day is one of the greatest comedic choices in the series' history. Owen's perhaps the most iconic contestant in the series, sort of acting as its mascot for a while. He's one of the silliest cast members, from his regular fart jokes and other gross out humor to his vibrant dream sequences. If Noah is the Squidward of the series, Owen is the SpongeBob, and fittingly, we're gonna diagnose Owen fans as being kids at heart.
What? Cheese is good for you.
That optimism and wonder that comes with being a kid never left you guys, and in this day and age, we need more people like you. You'll befriend anything that moves, and eat anything that doesn't. Sierra. The older I get, the more I realize Sierra is a pretty problematic character. Seriously, this girl is a legitimate stalker. It's being broadcast on TV, and nobody does anything about it? Alright, well, it is a cartoon, after all. A dark humor cartoon, further still, and that's what we're gonna pin on her fans as well. Sierra fans, there's no doubt that you enjoy a good sense of dark humor. Yeah, we all know that Sierra is totally creepy, but it can be hard to not laugh at her creepy antics, even if we're not rooting for her by any means.
Sweet dreams.
Then again, some fans probably are rooting for her, probably the same ones who would root for Tootie from Fairly Odd Parents. Remember, kids, stalking is a crime, even if it can be pretty darn funny sometimes, usually in cartoons. Trent, really, all the characters in the series, and Trent is your favorite. Like Noah, I guess he fits the bill for a straight man character, but still, he's not even particularly funny, and in season 2, they ruined his straight man persona by turning him into the talking point of r/nice guys.
What are you doing with him?
Trent enthusiasts, you've really got to broaden your horizons. The best metaphor I can think of to relate to people with Trent as their favorite is people who would pick Mario in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Sure, Mario's great, but so are the other 50 characters to choose from. Why pick the most plain one? Explore your options, man. Take risks. And if Trent is still your favorite, well, I'll promise to at least pretend to understand why. Tyler. We've reached the finish line, and it's fittingly Tyler who makes the touchdown at the tail end of our list. Himbo fans rejoice! Because Tyler is one of Total Drama's dumbest and most hilarious contestants. Clumsy and incompetent though he may be, Tyler has his great points, from pulling his team up from an icy cliff with just his fingertips to save them from falling, to insisting on saving Owen from Area 51 despite the danger to his place. Unfortunately, despite his good nature, Tyler gets the sore end of the deal, generally. From losing season 1 due to his fear of chickens to losing in World Tour for stepping on a landmine. Tyler fans are always looking out for the underdog. He's not the most skilled by any means, but poor Tyler deserved at least one win. Add that landmine to the list of Total Drama props I'll never forgive. And be sure to tell us what you thought of our psychoanalysis of you lovely Total Drama fans that we've never even met.